Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy and we're gonna get straight into our explosive penny stock watch list. So the first stock we're looking at here is Humble on the daily time frame. So you're down 5%, and I do think Humble is going to consolidate in this range for a little bit. You can see our 50-day SMA is starting to curl down, and the last thing we want is to see a crossover to the downside of either our 100 or our 200-day SMA. What I would love to see is our 50 get to this point and maybe even bounce off our 100-day SMA, because that would be extremely bullish price action. In terms of any verbal cues, this level of support right here is our last line of defense until we are fully bearish on Humble. And so as long as we hold this, we are going to maintain a slightly bullish outlook. Overall, we want to see the price action above this uptrend to be extremely bullish. If we get below this range and below our 200-day SMA, that is when things are going to look a little scarier in Humble, but we are not there yet. And so right now, everything is starting to look good. Our signal line is starting to get closer to our MACD, so I do like that. And let's see if we can consolidate in this range a little bit and then start to get our MACD to go up and then eventually back above our uptrend. Next stock of the day, we're looking at IGEN on the daily time frame. And today was probably my last day I'm going to be buying IGEN. I did put in an order that got partially filled. Probably my biggest pet peeve in trading is a partially filled order. However, I did try to squeeze some cheap buys here at 009. And so right now we saw highs today of about a penny. And so I do expect this to continue. You can see we moved on very nice volume. Our MACD is about to cross over our signal line. Our accumulation has been through the roof. And this is a very bullish engulfing candle on the daily. You can see how high and how low we got today. Extremely bullish right here. And so I do think this could be a start to a very nice run up. And so overall right now, IGEN looks extremely nice. I am in love with this stock. And so you guys already know I have a huge position in IGEN, and I could probably say this is my biggest position so far. And so we'll see how IGEN trades the next week. Overall, the technicals look very nice, and we had a very nice day to close out the week here on Friday. Next stock of the day, we're looking at WDLF on the daily time frame. So Social Life Network had a very strong day again today, up 7%. We got rejected by our 50 SMA, but that is okay. We did get a crossover of our MACD, so that was actually very nice. And so overall, we could still see some downward pressure here because we got rejected by this 50 SMA, but overall we are still above our uptrend. And so as long as we are up above this point, we are extremely bullish on WDLF. And so overall, the internal valuation that Ken Tapp and his management give WDLF is over $1.9 billion right now. And so for a company that trades at a market cap of 133 million, that lets me know there's a lot more upside here than downside. And so overall with WDLF, we have a fair price valuation of about 25 cents here. And so trading at less than 2 cents is an absolute steal. And so overall in the long term, I do expect to see great things from this stock. And anytime I do personally see a dip, I will be getting in on it again. However, right now I am locked and loaded on my current position. And so we'll see how this one trades next week. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SEGI. And so SEGI is performing just as we expected. We expect SEGI to be in this range until about June 22nd. I think at that point we will start to see stronger moves. You can see our MACD and our signal line did get the crossover, but the trajectory is not super high. And so overall, if we want to get those large movements up in SEGI, we're gonna have to break past our 50 SMA. But as long as we are below this 50 SMA, we will trade out along this level of support. And so overall with SEGI, we are still very interested in how this stock performs in the long term. Next stock of the day, looking at MJNA on the daily. So up 2% today, but again, still trading in this wedge right here. And so if we look at our 100-day SMA, our 100-day SMA has been holding as a very nice level of support. And you can see it is slowly and steadily climbing its way up, and we could see it break past this level of resistance at any time. And so if we get our 100-day past this level of resistance, we will start to see MJNA MJNA make moves. Right now, our biggest threat is our 50 SMA. If we can't break our 50 SMA and we get rejected again, we may start to see more downside pressure. Overall with MJNA, I do think it trades out in the rest of this pattern. And then again, at June 22nd, we start to see a larger move. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ALYI. Super solid day, up 10%, but still not a buy just yet. We are waiting for this price action to get back above this level right here. As long as we are below this level, we are still going to maintain a neutral outlook here on ALYI. We are still below our 100-day SMA, and we want to get the price ultimately above our 50 SMA to have the most bullish outcome. If we look at accumulation over distribution, we still have steady accumulation right now on ALYI, and so any sort of news could launch this one up, and so overall that is what we are looking for. Next stock of the day, we're looking at RDGL on the daily time frame, and so the next couple trading sessions are going to be absolutely critical here for RDGL. You can see we got the crossover that we wanted. We saw major accumulation at these levels, and so right now if we break this to the upside, we will not only be above our 50 SMA, and we could potentially even get above our 100-day SMA, and so at that point we are long on RDGL for a pre-anticipatory run to FDA approval. And so overall RDGL, we had made money on this previously, and now we are back in again. Pharma plays I don't buy and hold because there's always opportunities to make money during trades, and so that is how I will continue to play RDGL as a nice swing play. And if we do get approval, that is when we are going to get that stamp, and we are going to hold long and strong for RDGL. Next stock of the day, we're looking at HYSR. So HYSR, you could see our 50 SMA had that crossover to the downside, extremely bearish. Our price action just continues to go down slow and steady. We are still above this uptrend, but overall we do expect the price to get a lot lower than this in the medium to long term, and so HYSR is not a favorable play in my opinion. And so those of you who are in it may want to wait and watch this bottom out before averaging and buying into it. Next stock of the day, looking at ACDC on the daily time frame. So ACDC had a pretty solid day today, even though we were down, still holding above our uptrend. Our MACD is very close to crossing over. We could get that in the next couple of trading sessions. And so right now our biggest blockage is going to be this 50 SMA. If we get rejected by this point, we could start to see more downside pressure. However, we need to break past our 50 and get that going up. Once we break past our 50, I think the stock will start to run. But until then, again, we are not going to get into ACDC for a long position. Next stock of the day, we're looking at STAF on the daily time frame. So STAF is creating a very nice bottom and a very nice level of support at this 60 cents range. I know this is a very nice opportunity to be getting into this stock for a swing play just off a valuation basis. You could see we are on a long-term level of support, and we also broke down from an uptrend all below all of our SMAs, and so all of our SMAs are actually very tightly wound up together, so we could start to see large moves. If we get this back above all of our SMAs, this stock could run just because of how strong this coil up is here on STAF. Next stock of the day, we're looking at high tide on the daily time frame. So high tide was up about 2%. Nothing really crazy going on here. We are still trading within our wedge. Still no real signals to be getting into high tide in the short term. You guys already know I have a long position. I am currently down on my high tide position, and we could still see a lot more downside. Again, we have this gap to fill here at 31 cents. That does keep me on my toes, and if we do get to this point, we will be averaging down like crazy. But until then, we are just going to wait and watch and see how this stock plays out. Next stock of the day, looking at SNDL on the daily time frame. So we are flat today here, and again, we are just trading sideways with a slow bleed to the downside. Our MACD and our signal line are extremely close now, so if we could get some nice bullish news, we could start to get this to go up. But right now, we have no catalyst in the short term for SNDL, and unless we get some macroeconomic news, SNDL will be just bleeding and trading sideways in the short term. And so overall, until we start to see this get back above this uptrend, we are just going to patiently wait and watch here on SNDL. There you guys have it. That was our quick little update on our explosive penny stock watch list. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.